Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці.
Good health to you, fellow Ukrainians. On November 1st, I continued our diplomatic activity so that the world reacts strongly to another Russian escalation, to the terror against our energy facilities, and to Russia's attempt to exacerbate the food crisis again. I had a call with French President Emmanuel Macron. I thanked him for the support already provided and informed him about our urgent needs, primarily in defense. There must be an air shield for Ukraine, it was clearly said. We discussed with Emmanuel very specific projects, both to strengthen our defense and to rebuild the destroyed facilities. The battle of terrorists for the winter is completely transparent to everyone, and this challenge should be viewed precisely as a challenge to all of Europe. Moscow will present any winter difficulties in its propaganda as alleged proof of the failure of the United Europe. Therefore, together we must prove to the terrorists that failure is a word about them, not about Europe. We agreed to hold two very important events. The first is in December in France. The subject covers all the challenges of winter, from energy to finance, from weapons to protecting the sky. And the second event is to convene the business of France and help Ukraine. We talked with President Macron about the situation with our food exports. These days, the movement of ships with Ukrainian agricultural products has continued, primarily thanks to the principles of the partners, namely the United Nations and Turkey, which do not accept Russian efforts to destroy the grain agreement. But the grain corridor needs reliable and long-term protection. Russia should clearly know that it will receive a total response from the world to any steps that disrupt our food exports. This is literally a matter of life of tens of millions of people. In particular, I talked about this with Prime Minister of Cambodia on November 1st. This country now holds the presidency of Association of Southeast Asian Nations, one of the most powerful world associations. That's more than 600 million people in 10 countries. And for each of these countries, the food crisis is a real threat to national security. If food prices rise due to Russian aggression, if there is a deficit in the food market, this will inevitably lead to catastrophic consequences in most Association of Southeast Asian Nations countries, as well as in other regions of the world. Therefore, pressure on Russia for the sake of guarantees of food security is now needed from everyone, and from Asian countries as well. We work for this. European Commissioner for Energy, Kadri Simpson, visited Kiev on November 1st. She helped us a lot in the process of Ukraine's accession to the pan-European power grid. This is what significantly strengthened Ukraine, and now we heard the necessary signals of support from the European Commissioner. We discussed the initiative to create such a format, which, like a military Ramstein, will work for the sake of our common security, but precisely in the energy sphere. Something like an energy Ramstein. Funds, technical support, transformers, generators, energy carriers. This is what is vitally necessary for our defense. Assistance to specific cities and communities was also discussed, such as Mykolaiv, Nikopol, Kharkiv, and others, which are subjected to constant Russian terror, literally every day and every night. I informed the European Commissioner about the liquidation of the consequences of the massive Russian attack on our energy sector on October 31st. About our needs due to such strikes, as a result of the visit, we have many working agreements. As of now, we can report that the technical possibility of water supply has already been restored for all consumers in Ukraine. For most, it is also technically possible to supply electricity. Stabilizing blackouts continue in 9 regions of Ukraine. Energy workers and local authorities are doing everything to reduce the time of blackouts. It should not be forgotten that restoration work continues without a break in the territories that were liberated from the occupiers, in the Kharkiv region, in Donbass, in the south of our country. For example, gas supply has already been restored for more than 20,000 consumers in liberated areas of the Kharkiv region. Heat supply systems are being restored in Vovchansk, Balaklia, and other cities. We will do everything to give people electricity and heat this winter, but we must understand that Russia will do everything to destroy the normality of life. They do not care about the cost of energy terror. If you look at the cost of Russian attack on October 31st alone, the missiles and drones used cost Russia the equivalent of more than 2,300,000 average Russian old age pensions. And that's one attack. Monthly income of 2,300,000 Russian pensioners. Instead of overcoming poverty in their country, the Russian leadership spends everything to avoid admitting a historical mistake they've made with the war against Ukraine. They are hopeless on the battlefield. Ukrainian warriors have already proved it. But it takes time, it takes effort, it takes patience to prove that even the hope for winter will not come true for Russian terrorists. I'm sure we'll get through it. I thank everyone who helps Ukraine. Glory to each and everyone who works to bring our victory closer. Glory to all our warriors who are holding their positions, no matter how difficult it may be, and are gradually liberating our land. Glory to Ukraine.